He was on with Alex Kennedy, who's runs Hoops Hype. He has his own podcast.
And so I see AWOD raising his arms up. This is an AWOD find.
He wants producer credit.
Adam wants one up. Okay.
He loves the Wiz.
And
I'm
so
the
let's
Wiz
set
guy.
this up. So Trevor Booker, I believe, is he still in the league?
Yes, still cashing checks. Yeah.
All right. So the Wizards drafted him back
Last I saw he was on Utah.
back in 2010. Yeah, that was a while ago because he's played with Brooklyn. He's played with the Sixers. He's played with the Pacers. So I'm not sure exactly where he is right now. In fact, the last stats I have on him are 17 and 18. I don't have any 18 and 19 stats. 19.
Yeah, he's not on a roster.
Yeah,
Looks like he's playing in. He might be playing in China.
He's playing in China. So Booker was drafted by the Wizards back in 2010, 2011. Let me see who was on that team to remind you. That was back with Gill, Mike Bibby, Andre Bloch, Jordan Crawford. Remember that group? Kirk
Mike
Heinrich,
Bibby have like a 2-game cameo with the Wiz.
Josh Howard. Okay, that was that group. All right, JaVale McGee.
What an uninspiring bunch.
And apparently he talks about sort of that experience there and how wild it was, especially his rookie year, right? Let's hear the audio.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, thinking back on it, it's the most terrible team that I've probably been on, but it was probably the most fun that I've ever had in the NBA because those guys didn't care at all. I would come into the locker room the day of a game and watch, one player cut up a suit of another player. One guy took a in another guy's shoe. Oh my goodness. I have stories. We would break into each other's room and beat a player up, tie him up. It was so many stories I got from those Washington days. It was so much fun, but looking back on it, oh my goodness. It was so unprofessional. That was all I knew. It's my first NBA team, so I'm like, wow, the NBA is really a show. But, as soon as I went to Utah, I was like, wow, this is way different. This is way more professional, and I really like this a lot more. It's a lot more structured. It's family-oriented. I really went to Utah, and I was like, wow, this is completely different. And then, I went to other organizations, and I realized that, what I had in Washington, it was not normal at all. Pretty crazy. And one of the stories that I didn't mention was, outside of the nightclub, one night my teammates got to fighting. They got to fighting with each other, though. That's the thing.
Oh.
Yeah, two teammates got to fighting each other outside the locker room. I mean, not the locker room, but outside of the nightclub.
So he doesn't name names. Oh, look, a lot of this. Stop it for a second, please.
So he's just talking about the 1 year, his rookie year? Is that
I guess his introduction into the league.
Wasn't that nightclub brawl? I want to say it was like Blatch and maybe McGee.
Could have been.
Didn't those guys?
We know Gilbert's the one that dropped a deuce in the shoe.
Yeah.
And
We've
probably
heard
Nick
that.
Young is probably the guy that cut the suit up. This team had some clowns. They had Nick Young. Now, John was just in his rookie year.
It was the Nick Young, Blatch, McGee
Arenas
trio that was really just the height of stupidity and just a bunch of donks running around crazy.
Flip Saunders was
that
there.
was Flip, yeah.
Yeah, just trying to...
Like, could you imagine being... You're in your room, you're Heidi White, whoever it is at that point. You're sleeping, and then these guys break into your room in the middle of the night, and they beat you up, and they tie you up.
Flip had no control.
Those are your teammates.
I'm real surprised they only won 23 games that year.
Yeah. Is that all they won?
I mean, Trav, could you imagine if we went on the road to West Palm for a Nats trip and we broke into your room in the middle of the night and we beat you up and then we tied you up with like the hotel room towels?
Well, if I was part of it, sounds like it would be fun, but not the one getting beat up.
I'd be so bitter. I just went to Alton Lane and got my suit and everything. Those guys all had custom suits.
Oh, yeah.
And some dude just took scissors to your suit and destroyed it.
Somebody did that for a Major League Baseball team to an Asian pitcher. I think it was a Korean pitcher. I can't remember.
And they cut up all his suits?
They cut off like the sleeves of his suits.
So bitter.
He like it was a suit that had been, I think, gifted to him by his family, and he was distraught.
So it's safe to say the worst culture in the
sound of it.
I mean, we knew it was bad. We didn't know it was that bad, right? Is there more there that we're missing?
Yeah, you got to hear the end of the clip.
There's more that we're missing? Okay.
And not the locker room, but outside of the nightclub, it was other teammates tried to jump and break it up, and he ended up getting beat by the cops, and I had to drive him home, and he was crying the whole way. It was, oh my goodness, it was so many stories from that rookie year.
Wow.
I'm just glad I got out alive.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy that got beat up by the cops?
I don't think he named who it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People have been going on Twitter kind of guessing who the one crying was.
Yeah.
A lot of people say JaVale McGee.
Could be.
I could see that.
Could see.
Maybe
You said
Nick
it was.
Young.
You said it was Blatch and
I thought it
you
was
guys?
Flatch and
And McGee.
McGee that got into some sort of brawl.
Was that a local nightclub?
I'm not sure.
Is that when Blatch picked up? Didn't he try to pick up a hooker and there was an undercover cop?
I think that was a separate incident.
That was another incident.
Yeah,
Was
They
that
were.
year?
They were a mess.
Dude, the NBA is just wild. Did you see the dude who made the I think he did an algorithm that basically plotted out James Harden's performance against when he's on the road. He leveled it off with the quality of the strip clubs that were in each town, and then he would basically plot out how Harden's stats would either rise or fall depending on how good the strip clubs are in Atlanta as opposed to Dallas,
Correct,
as opposed to
So if the strip
Toronto.
clubs are good in that particular city, he's gonna have a bad game.
Yes, it was generally the way it was pointed out.